Early in the conference, but the stakes are already high. Our teams cannot slow down and risk losing that semi-final spot. It's time for some men's volleyball action. Happy Sunday. This is Spikers Turf for Power Meets Passion.
Two very proud teams face off in the opening match of your Sunday triple header here in the 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Cignal HD Spikers, as always, setting the bar, setting the standard early in this tournament, but they go up against PGJC Navy, who never let up despite a rather slow start to the tournament. Slower than they would want it to be, but they are ready to bounce back, and no bigger way to bounce back than to deal Cignal their first loss of this open conference. Thank you for joining us here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Jot Sulit here together with Neil Flores. Neil, what a busy day. Every game day, all 6 teams take action. It's a delight to all fans.
It's volleyball mania here in Manila. We have 3 matches in store for all of our volleyball fans. First off, we have the Cignal HD Spikers versus the PGJC Navy Sealions. Later on, we'll have more games, but it's so nice to have you back, Jat. I'm so happy to be working with you again.
Likewise, and I'm so excited to be covering volleyball again. And the action also that we're bringing, these are 2 teams, despite what their records, the disparity there, 3-0 Cignal, 1-2 PGJC Navy. You know that every time these 2 teams clash, it's always a classic battle.
I do agree, but right now, Cignal, HD Spikers have not been nothing but dominant throughout the first 3 matches. They swept all 3 matches and they're here for another title. And as for the PGJC Navy Sealions, they do want to rack up more wins because only 4 teams will proceed to the next round of the tournament. We do have a 6-team pool, so there are more chances for the other teams to make it to the semifinals.
Well, Cignal doesn't seem to have any plans of slowing down. The last time we saw them on the court, Neil, they haven't lost a set all conference long, and a straight set win over the VNS Laticrete Griffins. That was just dominance again from Cignal.
I do agree. They controlled all departments in that game against VNS. It was a 3-set sweep, 25-21, 25-13, and 25-19. VNS has always changed their roster, and this time it didn't work against a powerhouse team like Cignal HD. Of course, they will always be on top in the attacking category, 50 compared to the 28 of VNS. And even in net defense, Cignal showed why they are one of the best blocking teams, if not the best blocking team of the league.
Absolutely. And you know, when you talk about Cignal, even if you hadn't watched or haven't been around men's volleyball in a while, you know that they've been filled with prominent names. But now, someone relatively new is introducing himself right in the forefront. Steven Rotter, he popped off against VNS.
Steven Rotter actually missed the Invitational Conference due to an injury, but he was able to, score a lot of points against VNS in only 2 sets, 15 points with a 73% efficiency clip. So that is an impressive output for Steven Rotter. He's becoming to be the go-to guy for Cignal in this conference. So let's see if he can replicate that performance against VNS.
May partida na 2 sets lang but yeah, that was how Rotter really led Cignal in that win against VNS. But let's also talk about the game that PGJC Navy is coming off of. And they did have stellar individual performances and contributions, but it just wasn't put together enough to get a win.
It was a tough game for PGJC Navy because they were up against a finals contender in the Crisscross King Crunchers. They did take the opening set, but the second set, but they had a difficult time in bouncing back, especially with the fact that Crisscross is also a good defensive team. Crisscross had 8 blocks, napagtapatan ng PGJC Navy yung blocking output nila. But when it came to the offense, Crisscross just had more options compared to the Navy.
It's a tough stretch for the Navy because back-to-back matches nila against undefeated teams, but they're hoping to break through here behind their captain, long-time captain, and longtime prominent player here in the Spikers turf, Greg Dolor, wala pa rin kakupas-kupas.
32 big points for Greg Dolor. You know, he was the only player to secure the Best Middle Blocker award and Best Outside Hitter.
Wow.
Kakaiba yan. Those are two different possessions, but he is ready to serve for the PGJC Navy Sealions because if there's somebody na kayang i-match yung output ni Steven Rotter, it would be Greg Dolor.
You know, that 32 points is the biggest output of Dolor already here in this conference so far. But he might have to do even more if they want to take down Cignal. Now let's send it over to Bailey's to give you our Pilipinas
Gentlemen, welcome to the Rizal Memorial Coliseum in Manila for Season 8 of the Spikers Turf, where power meets passion. This is match number 10 of the 2025 Open Conference, the preliminary round matchup between the Cignal HD Spikers and their opponents, the PGJC Navy Sealions. And now introducing the two national referees officiating this match. Our first referee is Joven Racelis. Second referee, Joper Educado. Let's now meet the starters. First for the Cignal HD Spikers. Middle blocker number 8, team captain JP Bugawan. Setter number 3, Owa Retamar. Opposite hitter number 4, Steven Rotter. Outside spiker number 10, Wendell Miguel. Another outside hitter number 11, Jao Umandal. And middle blocker number 15, Martin Bugawan. Starting libero number 7, Vince Lorenzo. Head coach for Cignal is Dexter Clamore. And now the starters for the PGJC Navy Sealions. Outside spiker number 16, team captain Seaman second class Greg Delore. Opposite hitter number 4, Seaman second class Jake Jacob. An outside hitter number 11, Seaman second class Omar Liok. Middle blocker number 12, Herald Domingo. Another middle blocker, number 15, Seaman second class, Peter Kale. And setter number 24, Owen Suarez. Starting libero number 13, Seaman second class, Jack Kalinking. Head coach for Navy is George Pasqua.
Here we take a look at the starting 6 for the Cignal HD Spikers. Always a loaded unit that they start with. And Coach Dex Clamore, always carrying that championship experience. They will go up against the PGJC Navy Sealions. Right in the middle, of course, is Greg Dolor, who will be the man of the moment for the Sealions. 3-0 Cignal going up against 1-2 PGJC Navy. But we can't stress enough, Neil, kung gaano ka-exciting pa rin yung ina-expect nating laban na pantay despite what the records might say.
It's also a double round robin format for this conference of the Spikers Turf. So even if teams lose the first round, they can adjust their game sa second round to bounce back. But for Cignal, they are expected to perform at a very high level. Sabi ko, it's a full flex for Coach Dexter Clamore looking at that starting unit. The Bugawan brothers are in, Joshua Mandal and Steven Rotter is also there. And for PGJC Navy, of course, all eyes will be on Greg Dolor to lead that pack.
Well, Retamar will be serving first. He didn't even play against VNS. We know how much a big part of the Cignal HD Spikers he is. And even in that dominant win, wasn't part of it. Unfortunately, an error will be the first scratch for PGJC. 1-0 Cignal.
PGJC Navy just needs to be careful about those errors because we know that Cignal will come out guns blazing on offense. So kahit papano, hindi mo sila pwedeng tulungan na madagdagan yung output nila.
That's going to be a point for PGJC. What's going to be key for the Navy? And we put the spotlight on them kasi syempre itong ang Cignal have set the standard. What you mentioned about being careful, what else will be key in PGJC Navy getting a win?
I feel like it's going to boil down to their net defense. We know that there are a lot of different plays on the side of Cignal, and that on cue, PGJC Navy will get a solid kill block against Steven Rotter.
That was solid. Ang ganda ng basa ni Jacob dun. It is always something, a good sign when you're able to send a message to the usual attacker. Speaking of sending a message, how about that from Bugawan?
That's the thing about Cignal. Even if you block them the first time, Owaratamar still has so many options on the floor. And when it comes to speed, alam natin that Bugawan will always be at that advantage.
Eh yun na nga yung mahirap eh. Isang Bugawan nga lang ang hirap na eh.
Dalawa pa.
Dinalawa pa ngayon. Good reception for Navy. They tried to go to the lure. Another opportunity for the Sealions, and Kiel puts it down.
Great decision making from Suarez so far in the opener, giving Kiel a single blocker.
So many options he could have gone to. Pinuntahan niya yung tama, and Kiel rewards his setter. Greg Dolor has been relevant and at the top of his game for so long already. 32 points in their last outing. Yun nga lang, it came in a loss. Oh, and an unfortunate development. It looks like an ankle was tweaked. Landed on Rotter's foot. And they're still down as you take a look at Omar Leok. Look at that foot.
Oh yeah, he stepped on Steven Rotter's foot. So there will be a substitution definitely for Coach George Pasqua.
It's just unfortunate dahil kakasimula pa lang ng game, and well, you never want to see anyone down at any point of the game, but
Leok is also one of the more reliable attackers for PGJC Navy.
We're hoping na sometimes when it comes to ankle sprain, sometimes the initial shock is greater than the actual gravity of the injury. So sana ganun lang.
Yeah.
Sana may a big part of it is yung gulat. He gets an applause from his teammates. As Leok, like you said, will have to be replaced for now.
They will assess that ankle first. Hopefully it's just a mild sprain.
All right, so we go back with Navy serving 3-2. Greg Dolor will put this in play. The first of your 3 games that you'll catch in the Spikers turf. Oh, look at that, Bugawan again.
Oh, Aratamar has been giving his attackers single blockers.
I feel like we have to specify pala which Bugawan, no? That's Martin
Bugawan.
His second kill in relatively the same fashion, the same way na parang talagang there's no one getting this ball. However, they throw the ball away on that service error.
Personally, I wanted to see Martin Bugawan with a different team, but he found his way to the Cignal HD Spikers.
If you can keep it in the family, why not? Miguel, lifted up by Kiel. They go to the back. Dolor. You always want to initiate and get your best attacker going early on.
Started with a good dig from Peter Kiel that opened up an opportunity for Greg Dolor to go for that pipe.
Ito na naman, they go a different direction. And, well, that's the skill of a setter na iiba-iba mo yung pupuntahan.
The sky is the territory of Steven Rotter. Look at that spike reach towering above the single block of PGJC.
Everyone was expecting that ball to go to Bugawan, but went a different direction. So did that serve from Rotter. Back-to-back service errors.
It's a great start for PGJC Navy. It's not easy to hold the lead against Cignal HD. So they just have to continue being unpredictable.
Jacob Oh, that is an ace! Ang ganda naman ang pagkakapwesto doon ni Jacob.
Now, PGJC Navy is also using their services as their first point of attack. If you can score off that serve, you will be in a comfortable position against Cignal HD.
And Jacob has been really doing his damage. And he's fired up pagkatapos pala nung block niya kanina from Rotter. But there's no blocking this one.
Strong swing again from Steven Rotter. Now he's showing everybody why he was one of the best options for our national team. He was part of our national team in 2023.
Wendell Miguel. Third service error, which is very uncanny for a team like Cignal. And that leads us into our first technical timeout. PGJC Navy up 8-5.
Spikers Turf Open Conference, and coming from a loss and looking to get back in that winning column are the PGJC Navy Sealions. And so I spoke to Owen Suarez, a key player and the setter of the Navy Sealions. At nakwento niya sa akin that basketball was his first ever sport. He grew up watching the PBA with his dad, even watching live games of the 90s and the 2000s. Pinaka-favorite doon yung mga players, Fast and the Furious, Mark the Spark, Mark Kagiwa, and JJ Helterbrand. Natanong ko rin kung anong nadadala niya from basketball to volleyball, at sabi daw niya, it's the never say die attitude that he has, his mindset, and also yun din yung culture ng PGJC, especially since majority of them are soldiers and they don't look to back down versus the defending champions in this match. And to add, Jot and Neil, meron pang inter-barangay game mamayang gabi, si Owen sa Talisay, Batangas. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is, kababayan ko pala to si Owen from Talisay, Batangas. You know, a lot of sports fans and athletes, ang dali sa kanila tumawid no? Na mga sport din. Once you're passionate about all these different sports and games.
The Sea Lions have been solid in terms of net defense. They've scored a couple of kill blocks against the attackers of Cignal HD, but when Jao Mandal is attacking like that, you might just see Cignal run their own streak of points.
That's right. Well, Umandal again. However, that time it was out.
We're seeing a lot of unforced errors from the HD Spikers. Not the best of starts for them.
And not to take anything away from what Navy is doing right in this first set, pero a lot of their points nga are coming from those unforced errors. Retamar this time going to Bogawan on that quick connection. Martin again imposing his mind.
That's just smooth setter middle connection there from the HD Spikers. Retamar knows that Bogawan will have that advantage against the middle blocker of PGJC Navy. Cignal already has 5 unforced errors in this set. Sea Lions only have 1, so they're playing it clean.
Suarez this time going to Kiel. Great defense. Nasalo rin ng Navy. Kiel, excellent rally here between these two teams. Umandal looking to end it off the wipe.
Retamar is just recognizing the advantage of Jao Mandal against the shorter Suarez.
They've been going to Umandal after the first technical timeout. That's 3 times already they've gone to Jao. And we know the talent of that young man. It's never a bad idea to set him up. Suarez again to Kiel. Similar thing they went for earlier. Did not connect. Dolor goes cross-court. Lifted up by Cignal. Umandal again to wide. That's going to be out. Another point for PGJC.
Smart move from Suarez. He saw Jao Mandal flying in from the left pin and alam niya na papatamain sa kamay niya yung bola. That's why he let go of that block.
Owen Suarez, nice little bit that Bailey's shared with us earlier. Ooh, missed reception there, but they're able to keep it in play. Nagawa ng paraan ng Cignal. But still, Jacob has been on fire here in the first set.
From the service line to the right pin, he has scored big points for the Sealions. And they're maintaining this lead against the Cignal HD Spikers. Again, single block ang naibibigay ni Suarez sa mga attackers niya. That's 60-70% of the job done already.
And there he is
Another
again.
block.
We're seeing everything from Jacob here in this first set. Dalawang kill blocks na he had an ace earlier, and that attack that he had just a while ago.
Now a 5-point lead for the Sealions. So if they can, they need to sprint to that 25-point mark.
I like how you put it. They really need to sprint because you never want to give a team like Cignal a chance to catch up. Rotter goes cross-court past the defenders.
Corner pocket is good for Steven Rotter. We were mentioning a while ago that Cignal is a good blocking team, but right now it has been PGJC Navy controlling that net. They have 3 kill blocks here in set number 1. Wala pa nang naitatala itong Cignal HD.
And that solidifies your point earlier when I asked you what they need to attend to. It was their net defense that you mentioned, and you also mentioned the unforced errors of Cignal.
It's a 4th unforced error also for Cignal. But don't worry, they have a lot of second stringers that can actually be a starter. Louis Ramirez will check in for Jao Mandal.
If there's such a thing as 8th or 9th stringers, Cignal will also have those.
Pang first 6 nga yung second stringers nila eh.
A loaded cast talaga itong Cignal. And that's why they've always been one of the top teams. When you talk about, oh, an error in that attack. I was ready to call it a point for Cignal, but Rotter with an attack error. Point gets rewarded to Navy.
You can see the frustration in the body language of the HD Spikers. Yeah, they just have to take it 1 point at a time. Yep, there was a net violation.
Greg Delore, 15 serving 9. They target Miguel on that serve. Rotter wipes it off the block.
That's the good thing about Steven Rotter. Even if he commits a couple of mistakes, kayang-kaya niya yung bawiin off his attacks.
Kalmadong-kalmado pa rin itong Cignal, despite getting left behind by as many as 7 points earlier. Suarez, he goes to Jacob. 5 points now for John Jacob. And he brings us to our second technical timeout. PGJC Navy coming out like a house on fire. They're up 16-10.
Ganito man ako, simpleng tao, ipagyayabang ko lang sa'yo. Simpleng tao, by Glock 9. Pag-ibig ko sa'yo, hindi magbabago. At kahit na anong bagyo, ika'y masusundo. Ganito lang ako, simpleng tao.
How about a taste of the other hidden skills? No? Ano mga favorite players natin like Greg Delore?
That's my favorite segment in Spikers Turf.
Alam mo the entire time that we were playing it kasi it's heard and seen here inside the arena. Tinitingnan ko si Greg kung like matatawa ba, bibiruin ba ng demons? No, he had his game face on. He knows there's a job that needs to be finished because while they're ahead, dahan-dahan bumabalik na itong Cignal.
They know they're in a good position. Now there's a substitution on the floor for Coach Dexter. JM Ronquillo will check in.
Let's see what kind of difference Ronquillo will be able to make. Rother sends that long. Another service error for Cignal HD.
That is the 5th service error.
And the look on the face of Coach Dex says it all. John Jacob putting the ball in play. Navy with their counter-attack. And Greg Dolor almost sumabit lang yung atake niya.
It hit the tape of the net and rolled outside. They could just exchange points with Cignal HD.
That's been the case over the last few sequences. At the same time, if you're Navy, I'm guessing you want to send a message. Bugawan, good attempt, but read well. Navy was ready for it. And off the block, that's a point for Cignal.
That will force Coach George Pascua to call for time.
Hindi naman kalakasan ng palo eh. Papasok lang kami. Tapos yung depensa natin, pattern ulit. Pattern ulit. Pagka nakuha, split mo. Split mo yung play mo. Okay? At hindi yan. Then Greg, huwag masyadong to-do-list. Basta target mo lang yung corner lang. Diba na? Okay, let's go.
Very calm huddle from Coach George. Just pretty much restoring order on their side. Sabi mo nga, they can just exchange points. And he just wants to clean some aspects of their game up.
Liberato will now check in for Domingo. And magandang point ni Coach George a while ago. Alam niya na maganda yung distribution ni Owen Suarez. He's able to split the blockers of Cignal. Now it's about getting that finishing kick.
Let's see what they're able to do. Coming out of that timeout, they go to the lure. And a violation on Cignal, rewarding the point to the Sea Lions.
Sea Lions are just capitalizing on those free points. Unforced errors are almost in double digits.
Yeah, Ramirez
Cignal
committing that net touch. It also is a sign of the respect they have for Dolores attacking, even from the pipe.
Overpass.
Oh! They saw the spot, the gap in the defense of Cignal.
Cignal has to go back to the basics. And it's kind of ironic na kailangan nila bumalik sa basics kasi this is a powerhouse team. But we're seeing a couple of inconsistencies on the service line and even in service reception.
And this is why, Neil, from the very start of this match, actually, bago pa magsimula, we were saying that don't mind the records. 3-0 and 1-2. This is about to be war between these two teams. Cignal had not lost a single set in their 3 matches so far, but they're in danger of dropping a set here, the first one against PGJC Navy.
That was Greg Dolor, again, the top scorer and the best option for Suarez, getting that kill.
Again, Cignal trying to do everything they can to salvage this first set. Dolor will try again. Try to go off speed. Ramirez. That is long. But
Yes, there
off
was
the
a
block.
check ball.
Check ball, yep. And Ramirez scoring that point there.
That check was against Liberato of PGJC Navy.
JP Bugawan will be serving this for Cignal. Off the tape, and that's an ace.
They'll take it.
Wasn't the prettiest, but yes, any point that Cignal can get, they'll do so.
Lady Luck was on his side. Getting some help from the tape of the net.
So back at the service line is Bugawan. Suarez. Dolor, ginawa na lang ng paraan. And Casanya, who will he go to? It's Ramirez. Double block was there. And they score another point. That's 3 straight points for Cignal. They're within 4.
Cignal is regaining momentum in the tail end of this opening set. So for PGJC Navy, they have to deliver an excellent pass to Suarez because every time you get an excellent pass, doon nagkakaroon ng split block yung Cignal HD.
Not the best of receptions on the counter. Ronquillo keeps it alive. Ooh. But miscommunication, it seems like, on the part of Cignal. Neil, it's been the same story. Errors on the side of the HD Spikers.
JP Bugawan wanted to target the setter of PGJC Navy para hindi sila makapag-set up ng counter-attack.
And so, PGJC Navy 4 points away from winning the first set, but Ronquillo does something about that.
That is the first point of Ronquillo in this match. We will see a lot of substitutions from Coach Dexter. Sa mga games na nilaro nila, minamanage din ni Coach Dexter yung playing time. He also wants to give exposure to their second stringers. But again, they commit a service error. Service error number 6 already for the HD Spikers.
And look at that expression on Coach Dex's face. Because he knows na wala silang ibang masisisi with what's happening here in the first set. Again, it's been a perfect conference so far for Cignal.
Ronquillo will get one back for the HD Spikers.
They're fighting hard here, 22-18. Luis Ramirez with 3 attack points. But this time will find himself at the service line. Nicely put yung kanyang serve, but Dolor, down the line he goes.
He has been targeting the corners dun sa floor ng Cignal HD. As a high leaper, kitang-kita niya talaga kung saan butas yung depensa ng Cignal.
And also the recognition as a timeout is requested.
Huwag ka magtatago sa likod ng block. Kailangan talagang protektahan mo yung linya. Depensa mo na yun. Hindi naman sobrang lakas eh. Again, huwag ka magtatago sa likod ng block. Kuhang-kuha mo yun. Okay? Kaya pang kapitan. Di ba? Pero kaya pang kapitan. Go, 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 go.
Good
Still
point.
no panic, on the side of Cignal.
Good point from Coach Dexter. They've been in similar situations in the past. And they don't have any problems naman in scoring, in attacking. It's really the other aspects of their game right now.
In some parts of this first set, they self-destructed.
Yeah.
And that's what Coach Dex wants to solve. Dolor attacking Miguel on that serve. Casanya goes back to Wendell Miguel. Uy, lifts it up. Casanya goes to Ramirez and the block point by Kiel.
Peter Kiel saw that from a mile away. That's another kill block for PGJC Navy. 4 monster blocks already for the blue shirts.
Set point now for PGJC Navy. Dolor serving. Error on that serve, giving a slim chance still to Cignal HD.
The Sealions only need a single point. Suarez has 3 options in the front row right now.
Martin Bugawan puts it in play. Suarez. The combination, and Jacob rightfully ending the first set. The first set that was lost by Cignal in the entire conference.
It has been a balanced distribution for Suarez, and it has produced a lot of dividends. That slide attack has been deadly for PGJC Navy, and they will give Cignal HD their first set loss in the conference.
If there was a team that was going to give that to Cignal, Many fans would probably have thought it would be PGJC Navy. PGJC Navy taking the first set over the Cignal HD Spikers.
Again, PGJC Navy had the number of the attackers of the HD Spikers. They were able to score from their net defense. Cignal wasn't able to register any kill block because there were a lot of single block setup on their end. Yeah, Suarez had a field day in selecting his attackers. But again, Cignal was still on top in numbers pagdating sa atake. 15 against the 7 of PGJC Navy. But the balanced distribution of PGJC Navy helped them in set number 1. Jacob scored 5 points. Dolores scored 4 points. Kiel and Liberato also had a point each. And I guess that stat line will already tell you the story of set number 1. 14 errors from the HD Spikers compared to the 3 of PGJC Navy. Hindi nga nila kinailangan i-match yung output ng Cignal HD in attacks and blocks because they got a lot of free points from the red shirts.
Halos lahat ng attack points binalik rin lang ng Cignal with their errors. UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live because legends start here. The legends that we have on the volleyball court taking action dito sa Spikers Turf Open Conference. Glad to have you on board. You got Jot Sulit, Neil Flores, and Bailey Sack bringing you the action. And remember that this is just the first of your 3 matches that you'll find here in the Spikers Turf. Today, dahil araw-araw po na naglalaro ang Spikers Turf, you get 3 matches. All 6 teams take action in every game day. And you might have your favorite teams, but you know you love volleyball altogether, so susundan nyo lahat ng laro. We open up the second set. Navy serving, umandal. Gets the point there.
That's how you want to start a set. That's how PGJC Navy started set number 1.
In a sense, nalaro ng Cignal yung laro nila in set 1 because you saw they had 15 attack points, more than doubling the attack points of Navy. But then yun nga, just the errors that they gave up, way too many, Neil.
Yeah, they are actually a strong serving team, pero pag hindi pumasok yung serve, hindi mo yun magagamit as your advantage.
Yeah, as they add another error. Well, that's an error from the Sealions, their captain, Dolor. Let's see how Cignal responds. They say good teams are able to set the tone and play well right off the bat, but the great teams are able to recover despite slow starts.
Cignal is a team that can definitely bounce back from that first set loss, but if Navy keeps this up, they can actually also win the second set.
Well, you know what? Kiel was quiet to start this match, pero towards the end of the first set had a big block. This time, gets a kill. And how about that?
How do you even stop Martin Bugawan? With that spike reach and leaping ability, single block will not be enough.
It was even a little too late. Suarez going to Jacob. Retamar was there. Umandal sets up Miguel. Through the double block, he still gets the point.
Wendell Miguel saw that small opening from the blockers of PGJC Navy, just went for all power to break the wall.
Suarez, where does he go? Castel sends it to Bugawan, lift it up. Miguel will try. The block was there. And they call it in. Another block point credited to the Sea Lions. But Coach Dex will challenge it.
This will be the first challenge of the day. It's a ball in, ball out challenge.
So let's see what the result is. And this could be a very crucial call. Here we see it.
Yep, it hit the line. So that is a point for PGJC Navy.
Great call from our officials. Unfortunately, the challenge was unsuccessful. Jacob, who was the leading scorer for Navy in that first set. Retamar, pupunta kay Miguel, tries to go cross court. Dolor was there. Dolor from the back row. Retamar, punta naman kay Rotter.
Point will be awarded to PGJC Navy. Tumama na sa antena yung bola ni Steven Rotter.
And so now, Navy has tied this game up, and it seems like Rotter hasn't really fully gotten his rhythm here in this match.
We're still looking for the consistency aspect because ang layo ng efficiency rate right now ni Steven Rotter compared to their last game. In 2 sets, had a 73% clip.
Wow. And he's been stymied by the defense of Navy. Dalawang kill blocks na inagawa sa kanya ni Jacob kanina, and sometimes it takes a hit on the confidence of the attacker when it happens twice already. Miguel, ang ganda naman. That was vintage Wendell Miguel.
That was the right angle for Wendell Miguel. Owen Suarez was prepared for a down-the-line hit. And again, when you have JP Bugawan as your middle blocker, meron at meron niyang mapapasabay na middle. So madedelay yung hahabol sa block for Wendell Miguel.
Made the most of what opened up for him. Rotter will be serving. Suarez goes to Jacob. And the double block was what he used to get the point.
Sometimes you can avoid the block, but sometimes you can also challenge the block.
I don't know, parang iba yung kumpiyansa rin na dala ni John Jacob into this match. You know, prior to the start of it, he really looked loose and looked like he was in his element. And we're seeing translate. Great play for Cignal. It was Umandal who was unstoppable in that sequence.
That is their one of their deadliest point of attacks. That fast back row hit. Parang frontline din eh.
Absolutely. With the elevation and the aggressiveness that he attacked that ball with. 7-5, Cignal ahead here in set 2. Retamar going to Bugawan. Kalingking. Dolor was received well. It's Umandal could not get that over.
Napanggigilan ni Jao Umandal. He wanted to deliver a really strong hit. But timing was a bit off already.
Galing kasi siya sa ang gandang atake. Wanted to replicate it. Nice dump by Retamar. Joshua read that so well. No one expected that, and now we head into the first technical timeout of set
25 Spikers Turf Open Conference, and more about our defending champions, the Cignal HD Spikers. Their main contributor, Steven Roter, who grew up in Cerrito, LA. His first sport was actually basketball because he grew up short. Late na dumating ang kanyang growth spurt. And he went to high school in Bellflower, St. John Bosco, where he transitioned to volleyball and eventually representing Cal State Northridge for Division I volleyball. Ultimately, in 2023, competing for AMC Cotabato, and that same year was called up by Coach Dexter to suit up for the Cignal HD Spikers in the Invitational Conference. But a week before his first game, he sprained his ankle, a grade 3 ankle sprain. So all in all, this Open Conference, this is the redemption season of Steven Roter. He just looks to say 100% and 100% available for the HD Spikers. Your thoughts, Jet and Neil?
Well, so far, he doesn't look at his 100% in this match. And for sure, hinahanapan pa to ng signal at ni Coach Dex ng a little bit more impact.
The HD Spikers are trying to shake the Sea Lions off kasi dinidikatan sila ng dinidikatan sa score. It's only a 2-point lead for Cignal. And we're used to seeing Cignal have big margins when it comes to that lead. Now they're starting to pull away. That's a good 3-point lead for the HD Spikers. That's the normal lead.
And you know, Neil, most of the time, coaches would tell you that kailangan pagdaanan yung mga ganito adversity, matalo ng set at magkaroon ng mga dikit na laban because come the playoffs, you know, teams and matches are more intense. And you don't want to be that team who never went through challenges. As another error is committed by Cignal. That was the story of the first set.
This was against Martin Bugawan.
Navy is actually still in this set. You know, they're keeping close. Still because of the errors of Cignal.
But if you're on the chase, if you're on the side of PGJC Navy rather, kailangan masabayan mo na yung output ng Cignal in attacks because medyo malayo rin yung discrepancy in set number 1, 15 compared to the 7. But they have managed to keep their game clean. Only a few errors in set number 1, only 2 here in the second frame.
Good defense for Cignal so far. Etamar goes to Mandal. And Jao Mandal has woken up here in the second set.
The Spikers are finally heating up here in the second set. Again, that is their go-to play. Even if Oare Tamar has a full front line with Miguel, Bugawan, and Roter, he can still opt to go for that pipe para kay Joshua Mandal.
So many ways that Cignal can hurt you. And I'm sure it's a luxury, but also parang ang hirap minsan kay Retamar. He has so many options to choose from. But even their defense has stepped up, Neil, here in the second set. And Dolor could not get that in. Like you said, Cignal's pulling away.
Cignal is also getting better defensive touches up top.
And if it was a matter of being a little too lax in that first set, that's definitely erased now for Cignal. They're locked in. That's why they've built this 5-point lead. Suarez. Jacob still trying to ignite his team again. On the quick. And like we said, different ways that Cignal can score.
Satisfied na isang set lang? Kung ilan ba sa isang set lang ang panalo? Bakit nyo papaguhin? Kanina, nakakadepensa tayo. Pag naibalik natin ang bola, pupuntos pa sa atin. Bakit hindi natin ayusin yung depensa natin?
Nahanap ni Coach George yung energy from the Sea Lions because it's a totally different energy or vibe that we're feeling right now from the Sea Lions. As for Cignal, the biggest change would be the efficiency of Jao Mandal. He only converted 2 out of the 6 attempts in set number 1, but in this set, he has converted 5 out of 6.
You know, even yung body language kasi ng Navy, you can tell that hindi na sila kasing confident as they were in the first set. Umandal put a lot of power in that serve, but it didn't go over. Free point for Navy. Now, if you're the Sea Lions, you want to capitalize on this and string together some more points. Kel puts it in play. They target Umandal. Retamar going to Umandal again. However, that point is awarded to Navy.
It's back-to-back errors from Jao Mandal. PGJC Navy also has to recognize na since nakakuha na ng magandang defensive touches itong Cignal HD, they have to give more support to their attackers by putting coverage behind them every time they're on the attacking end.
So finally something going Steven Rotter's way. He gets the point there. You know, not the biggest of space he had, but he made it work. Martin Bugawan on that serve. How about that cross-court kill?
Suarez
Beautifully done.
is starting to go to their combination plays. A while ago, mas simple yung mga point of attack nila. But since they got a good pass, that was his opportunity to run that combination play from the middle.
And Jerry Carangan knew exactly what to do. Down by 4 is Navy, 15-11. Retamar will initialize Miguel Dolor with a reception. Andun din si Retamar. Miguel will try again. Suarez, where will he go? He goes to Dolor, but Bugawan was there for the block. You did mention the prolific JP Bugawan as a middle blocker is scary, and he leads us to our second technical timeout of set 2, Cignal up 16-11.
Yung quote ko is galing sa kantang tuloy-tuloy lang. So, yung lyrics niya is parang kahit anong hirap, kahit anong mangyari sa buhay, kailangan tuloy-tuloy lang.
Get your daily dose of sports updates on Starting Lineup, Mondays to Fridays, 6:30 p.m. on Pilipinas Live app and on One News. Also available on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Those are also where you can find the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2025. We're right in the middle of the preliminaries. And tulad ng nabanggit po namin kanina, every game day you get a triple header. So your team, kahit sino pang team ang chini-cheer nyo, they will be playing in every game day of the preliminaries. So watch out for that. This is just the first of 3 matches coming your way from the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Steven Rotter with that service, nicely put. Can Cignal capitalize? Retamar going to JP Bugawan, but it sailed out.
I know that mataas tumalon si JP Bugawan, but that set was a little bit too high for him.
At kaya napasori si Josh Retamar kay JP. PGJC Navy, I wonder what kind of energy they come out with after that second technical timeout. Suarez going to Jacob. Good floor defense. Miguel off speed. Carangan. Oh, nice pancake save by Lorenzo. Rotter will go down the line for the kill.
Options, options, options. That was already broken play from the HD Spikers, but since they have lethal attackers in the back row, okay lang kahit hindi makapag-set up sa harapan si Retamar. You have Joshua Mandal firing from the middle. You also have Steven Rotter from the right wing.
I gotta give credit also to Vince Lorenzo, of course, for making that play even possible. Overreaching. Called on Humandal, and he knew it. You know, nila itong 4-point lead ng Cignal. It's been stuck there, and you know they'll be happy to maintain that lead. But Navy is hanging there with them.
This is a manageable lead for the Sea Lions. Pero kailangan talaga consecutive points yung pupuntusin nila. Every time they score a point, Cignal will roar back and get their own point.
Oh, now that lead is live again, 18-13 with JP Bugawan at the service line. Suarez to Kiel. Cignal able to keep it in play. Kalingking will initiate Dolor. And that's a point for Cignal. Coach George Pascua asking for a review, a challenge on that call, wanting a block touch.
It looked like Greg Dolor was a bit intimidated by the three-man block set up by the HD Spikers. So he tried to target the fingertips of Cignal HD.
Did it hit? Yun ang magiging tanong dito because initial ruling was no touch. Oh, that looked clean.
Yeah, no block touch there. The point will go to the HD Spikers.
So there have been two challenges so far in this match. Isa kay Coach Dex, isa kay Coach George. Parehong unsuccessful yung mga challenges nila. 19 serving 13 here in set 2. The first set belonged to PGJC Navy. Suarez going to kill again. Too long. Easy out.
It's their turn to commit their own unforced errors. Talking about the PGJC Navy Sealions. His lead has now ballooned to 7.
They look hesitant
Yeah.
when they're approaching the ball. We're talking about PGJC Navy. Yun din kasi yung nagagawa ng Cignal with how dominant they are. They send a message to their opponents, intimidating message every single time. But Kiel is rarely intimidated.
Gandang bawi for Peter Kiel. That's just the FEU connection there from Suarez and Kiel.
How long have those two been playing together and connecting? Kabisado na talaga ang isa't isa. Retamar going to Umandal off the block.
Smart move there from Jao Umandal. Just went for that hit out. Didn't challenge Jacob head on.
The many ways that Umandal can approach and hurt you, they've been all in display here in the second set. Well, another error. Retamar committing that one.
Cignal always wants to be aggressive on the service line. It's just that in set number 1, they weren't able to control the power in their serves. Yung iba sobrang lakas, yung iba bitin. But I feel like here in set number 2, they have found the right mix. Yes, it's not yet perfect. Meron pa din mga errors. But again, they have bounced back from that disappointing performance in set number 1, maintaining that 7-point lead.
And look how Rotter's teammates celebrated with him as he scored that point. Kasi nakikita na natin kanina parang na-frustrate na tong si Steven Rotter. It's his teammates giving him that confidence back.
Yun din yung wala kanina sa Cignal eh. I didn't feel that they were enjoying the game as much compared to the PGJC Navy Sealions. Pero ngayon, baliktad naman.
Well, like you said, meron pa rin mga errors. But after committing 14 errors in that first set, much better naman itong second for Cignal. Kiel put it in play. They go back to Rotter. And another attack point for Steven Rotter.
The Sealions really need to work on their offense. They've only scored 4 attack points in the second set. Cignal already has 17.
A timeout requested by Coach George Pascual. Let's listen in.
Nangyari kasi, di pa pinapalo yung bola, nakabuhol na kagad kayo. Hindi naman kayo tinatamaan ng bola eh. Expected nyo kagad, pupunta sa inyo. Kasi tumatama sa block, ibig sabihin namamatay yung bola. Hindi lang tayo ready. Inihintay natin kasi yung malakas na bola eh. Hindi natin in-expect na yung makukuha eh. Diba, natatats naman eh. Napapahinga naman yung bola. Hindi naman siya todo-todo eh. Kailangan depensa tayo.
Yeah, floor defense will be important if you want to be able to get your chance to attack.
It seems like Coach George, okay pa siya dun sa net defense na, pero dun sa secondary coverage, dun siya nakukulangan ng kaunti.
There are times na nahahawakan naman nila yung bola ng attackers ng Cignal, pero yung suporta sa likod yung nawawala.
Jacob. And a net touch committed by Miguel. Marami-rami na rin yung net touch na natatawag dito sa Cignal.
More free points for PGJC Navy.
Yun nangyari lang here in the second set. I know it's not done yet, but na-compensate naman ng attack points yung mga errors na nakomit ng Cignal.
That's really the thing about Cignal. Mabitin man sila in some categories, hindi sila mahuhuli when it comes to offense.
Here they are attacking again. Retamar to Miguel, goes down the line, and Jacob, he knew it was coming to him, but the strength of that attack was too much.
You've seen the variation of the attacks of Wendell Miguel from cross-court shots to down-the-line hits.
And a stare down too afterwards. Set point for Cignal HD. Rotter ends it with an ace. And I'm sure that will do a lot for the confidence of Steven Rotter as Cignal ties this matchup 1 apiece. In the first set, they lost the first lost set for Cignal in the entire conference. Grabe naman yung bawi dito sa second. So we're tied up 1 apiece. Done in this match between Cignal HD and PGJC Navy. 1 apiece is our count so far as we look back at some of the highlights from set 2. What was the story for you dun sa set na yun, Neil?
It's still the attacking for Cignal HD. Yes, they still had a lot of unforced errors. I think they had 11 unforced errors in set number 2. Pero as you mentioned earlier, na-compensate talaga yun ng offense nila. Oware Tamar has the luxury of choosing anybody on the floor to score for Coach Dexter. There is a balanced output, especially in set number 2. But right now, it is Steven Rotter with 9 points as their top scorer. Jao Mandal has 8, and for PGJC Navy, it has been a quiet outing for Greg Dolor. He has only scored 4 points so far. And look at that. PGJC Navy only scored 6 points in the scoring categories, 5 attacks and 1 block. But Cignal had 18. So here in set number 3, kailangan lang bawasan palalo ng Cignal yung unforced errors nila. And for PGJC Navy, they have to start stepping up on offense if they want to match that firepower from the HD Spikers.
That's the story of set 2. Arena Plus, Astigsa Sports. We get to look at some of the names and faces inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. After this, may dalawang matches pa po na pwede niyong panoorin wherever you're watching us from, or you might wanna come over to the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Sulit na sulit ang punta nyo dahil marami pang ang games ang pwedeng mapanood. But we thank you for joining us and watching wherever it is you're tuned in from. Jot Sulit, Neil Flores, and Baileys Akot bring you the action of the 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Cignal HD, after losing that first set, bounced back with incredible energy in set 2. Ang tanong ngayon, how will Navy bounce back from losing or dropping that second set? Tamar, first to serve. Rotterdam opening. Wisely done.
Cignal also went to their game plan of preventing Greg Dolor from scoring. And from that 32-point output in their last outing to 4 points right now, ang layo ng difference ng production ni Greg Dolor. So he really has been checked by the defenders of Cignal.
And Rotter has extremely improved from a very quiet first set. They go to Kiel, Navy. Suarez this time, si Dolor naman, covered by the double block.
That is a solid tandem in net defense. You have Martin Bogawan and Steven Rotter.
In Navy's loss in their previous game against Chris Cross, Dolor had 32 big points, his biggest output so far in this conference, but today, a very quiet 4 points so far. Suarez to Umandal, met by Kiel. Rotter, double block was there. And Cignal unable to save that point. Good defense for Navy.
Wendell Miguel was not in the right possession. Usually, pag nagkakagulo sa harap, meron isang sweeper na naiiwan sa likod. For these types of coverage.
Napasama si Wendell sa harap and made it difficult to recover. Umandamit by the block. Naiangat naman ang Cignal. And this time, off that touch, I think that kind of was Coach George's point kanina back in the second set.
And they got a touch on the hit of Steven Rotter. They almost prevented Jao Mandal from scoring. But again, it's that support behind the blockers. Doon nagkakatalo ngayon sa PGJC Navy.
Good serve by Umandal. Jacob floats it over. Retamar. Who will he set up this time? Miguel going cross-court.
Gets a check ball off the blockers of PGJC Navy.
Ever since Cignal got their rhythm and their groove in that second set, they've been so difficult to stop. And you mentioned it repeatedly, Neil, yung opensa talaga, yun ang nakakatakot dito sa Cignal.
And they're just taking the Sea Lions out of system. We are seeing a lot of broken plays. Nagiging default yung play ng PGJC Navy.
Rotter finds an opening in the back. Karangyan a little too late to get to that.
Pagulong will check in for Coach George Pascua. He needs a stable pass.
You know what we're seeing also is the dominance of Rotter since that second set.
11 points already for Rotter at 56% efficiency.
Kung gaano kadalas ngumiti si Rotter in the game, yun yung parang sign mo how well he's playing it. In that first set, we barely saw him smile.
Now they give a free point back to PGJC Navy. But the Sea Lions can't rely on the free points given to them by Cignal. Kailangan trabaho nila yung puntos from offense to defense.
Not a lot of attack points for the Navy here in this game as compared to the unstoppable attacks of Cignal.
Everybody is a threat from Cignal.
Look at this. What a connection. And Wendell Miguel definitely fired up after that one. Suarez to kill. Cignal wasn't ready for that. But you know what? Even after that point scored by Navy, we were looking at Coach George and he was still unhappy about something. And well, I'm sure yung energy na hanap niya dito sa team niya starting to rise now as Jacob. Remember how brilliant he was in the first set?
It's back-to-back attack points for PGJC Navy. They do want to surpass their output in set number 2.
Ganda rin ng back set doon. Kill with the service. Combination, Miguel with a kill.
It's like he's in the free spiking drill.
Yeah. And it's almost like itong Cignal alternating na parang, oh, Wendell, ikaw naman. Oh, Steven, ikaw na. I mean, now they've been going repeatedly to Wendell Miguel. Story of the game, errors of Cignal.
They have accumulated 12 service errors in this game already. I know that they want to be aggressive because every time na pumapasok yung malalakas na serve nila, out of system agad yung PGJC Navy, and that makes it easier for them to set up that signal wall.
Well, error for error is what happened there as Jacob could also not get his service over. First technical timeout of set 3, Cignal up 8-5.
Live inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum for your 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference. It's set number 3 and looking to gain back momentum are the PGJC Navy Sealions. And just a full circle story on one of their glue guys, John Jacob, who started playing volleyball at the age of 14 and represented Panibasan National High School in Mako, Davao de Oro. In college, was a student athlete of the University of Mindanao and finished BSBA Human Resource Management. Presently works as an admin staff station in Taguig. Now, John never imagined playing professional volleyball at all, but he's always been a fan, watching the likes of Mark Espejo, Brian Bagunas. It's a full circle moment for him because each match in Spikers Turf, he feels like he's living the dream. Kaya he always pours his heart out each and every match. Jot and Neil?
You know, usually you idolize yung mga generations before you. Pero yung mga idol nito ni John are they're active players and might actually mean that he just learned the sport or got really deep into it quite recently.
And I think most of the volleyball players talaga in the Philippines look up to Mark Espejo and Brian Bagunas.
Sigurado naman. Hindi naman maling idolize yung dalawa.
Yeah, they are the best in the Philippines. No doubt about that.
Of course, Espejo had won, and Bagunas as well had been successful in the Spikers Turf. Well, back here in the third set, where another error is committed by Cignal. Pagulong with the serve. The quick play in that attack of JP Bugawan straight into Jacob.
Almost a facial there. Laurent Amar has been trying to dish out the perfect set for JP Bugawan. That has got to be the best one so far.
Kanina kasi puro dun sa other Bugawan na pupunta yung mga set niya. But how about that for Navy? A play that might wake them up here in the third set.
Suarez is such a confident player. Even if he's not the tallest of setters, he still gets the timing right. Kaya nakakuha din siya ng sarili niyang block points.
Tried to go to Martin Bugawan, but defense was there. Umandal, the triple block, was ready for it, and eventually resulting to a point for the Sea Lions.
Defense is now starting to step up for PGJC Navy.
If Cignal is relying on their offense and their attacking, mas sa depensa naman itong Navy. Retamar going to Umandal again. Floats it over. Kept alive by Dolor, pero nadula si Greg. The back set to Rotter is out. And that point goes to Navy for now, because Coach Dex Clamor will be challenging that.
It's a ball-in, ball-out challenge from the Cignal HD Spikers. You have to check that corner pocket.
Nakakabalik na rin kasi itong PGJC Navy, starting to gain some momentum here in the third set. We'll take a look at this.
Yes,
oh!
it clipped the line.
That's a great challenge for Coach Dex. And the call gets overturned. The point rewarded to Cignal HD. So Rotter now in double digits in production here in this match. Retamar puts it in play. Kalingking to Suarez to Dolor. Double block was there. Nothing that can do to stop the captain.
It's time to pick up his game. Talking about Greg Dolor, he has to reach the double-digit mark if they want to win more sets against the HD Spikers.
Yung
non-negotiable na hindi siya
Totoo.
double digits.
Kasi yung support around him has been there eh. Pero you still need your main man to show up. They go back to Greg. Handa yung blockers. Kiel off the block. What a rally from the Navy.
Suarez is just finding other ways to score. Yes, Greg Dolor has been checked, but the other players have not been checked by the defenders of the HD Spikers. They have scored multiple times using that quick attack.
Peter Kiel has not done it in a loud way, but he's helping PGJC Navy slowly but surely. Retamar goes to his money man. Kaya lang, out yung atake ni Bugawan.
So that's unforced error number 5 for Cignal HD.
Do they challenge it again? Oh, they challenge. And Coach Dex trying to clarify because I think hindi na magagrant yung challenge niya. Block touch. Yun. They eventually give him the challenge on the block touch.
But there was really a touch on the block of Bugawan. So I am confused as to kung ano yung pinapoint out ni Coach Dexter dun sa... Oh yeah, there was no block touch.
The angle was far from what Bugawan needed. And it was an easy call for our technical committee. At hihingi na lang ng timeout si Coach Dex. They have stuff to talk over.
May pasa naman pa. Ngayon kailangan na siyang gumalaw. You have this also. Okay? Paikutin mo na yung stick. Stick, here. Yan, coach. Itukuin na natin. Now, be quick. May pasa wa. Tigit mo muna spacing natin, ha? Go, 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 go. Try na yan. Let's go, Shanice!
Not really a lot was needed to be talked about dun sa huddle ni Coach Dex. More of like, okay, let's go back to what we know works.
It's such a simple timeout every time for Coach Dexter. Po-point out niya lang, pwede ka mag-set up dito, dito, dito. Kahit
Kaya
saan
nga,
pwede.
and I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, pero as a player, that kind of builds your confidence din. Kasi parang ang message is, alam naman ni coach ko ano yung, may tiwala naman si coach that we know what to do.
These are the top players in the UAAP when they were still playing in the collegiate ranks. So it's easier to talk to them, it's easier to give instructions. Alam mo na as a coach, ma-apply agad yan ng players mo. And they want to build a better lead, I guess, against PGJC Navy, because a while ago they had a 4 or 5 point lead, but now it's down to 1. And it's all thanks to the defense and playmaking of Suarez.
It's certainly been an uprising for PGJC Navy here in the third set. The lead of Cignal was as high as 5 points early in this set. Navy has come back. Rother has had enough.
Steven Rother through and through. Still the best option for Oaretamar. That's why he's called that terminating opposite. You need an instant side down, put that ball up to the right pin. He will just do his job.
With Rother, you're talking about a Division I volleyball player in the U.S., collegiate volleyball player. But Jacob has had his fingerprints all over this match for Navy.
Ang ganda rin ng suporta niya kay Greg Dolor. He knows that their main man is getting checked by the defenders. So siya mismo nagsi-step up na to provide the important points for PGJC Navy.
And as we saw in their previous match, Dolor cannot do it alone. 32 points niya, not enough to get a win. He needs help. But they also need to stop the rampage of Steven Rother. We'll take a seat now for Cignal.
That play was so simple. Laging tinitingnan ni Oaretamar kung saan ba siya magkakaroon ng pinaka-advantage. They recognize the height difference dun sa outside hitter in pagulong. That's why they went to that point of attack.
15-13. Cignal on top. That sails out. And Coach George will be challenging that.
It's a ball in, ball out challenge. Target was zone 1 for PGJC Navy. But did it clip the line? That's the question.
Kanina nung ganito yung challenge ni Coach Dex, he was successful. Will it be the same for Coach George? Take a look at this on the replay. Far out. Not the result that Navy was hoping for on that challenge. But
Ano ko yung title? Kahit matapos ang magpakailan ako'y maghihintay. Ayun, sa ngalan ng pag-ibig. Ang tagal.
UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live, because legends start here. Pati yung mga legendary singers like Wendell Miguel. Good save, but 4 touches. Ni umabot pala, but I mean, good effort still for Dolor.
Lead is back to 4 for the HD Spikers.
Liberato back in the match. Casanya will be serving. They could not get that over. EJ Casanya was the main setter dun sa panalo nila over VNS. Again, because Owa Retamar did not play in that match, but now Retamar being used more prominently against Navy. Casanya going to Ronquillo. Kalingking was able to send it over. Off the block. Point scored by Cignal.
Instant conversion every time that Ronquillo is subbed in. That is the responsibility of the second stringers to change the flow of the game. I just checked the total number of errors of Cignal in this game. It's already at 29.
Wow. It's actually crazy that they're still in control of the match at the number of errors that they've had so far. And now lots of things to talk about para sa Navy. Coach George Pasco calls for time.
Kailangan may coverage tayo. Kailangan ready tayo for attack. Hindi tayo nagugulat. Pag nagulat tayo, tandaan ninyo, mahihirapan natin. Ma-execute ng maayos. So, ganun. So, kunin mo lahat ang receive din. Bato ka rito, Greg. Sa gitna. Then, iwas muna sa libero ang bola. Dito kayo sa position 1 lagi, ang target. Para nasa blind side ni middle. Kahit pa paano. Tapos, Jacob, bantayan mo isa ron sa dulo. Ha?
Coach George Pasqua wants an isolation play. He was asking na yung pasa nila ilagay nila sa right side para at least yung middle blockers mag-move din papunta doon. And then last second, dish that set out to the left pin.
Let's see if that works because they're in dire need of points here in the third set. Dolor was the option. Defense was ready. Jacob naman. Casanya going to Ronquillo again. Kalingking keeps it alive. But miscommunication for Navy. At lahat sila nang hinayang doon.
There will be more substitutions for Coach George Pasqua. Monch Castel and Jairami will replace Jacob and Suarez.
Serving 14. Wendell Miguel at the service area. Pagulong. Received well by Miguel. They get a chance to set up. Umandal. Too long. Cross-scored.
Yep,
But
there was a check ball called on Liberato, but there was also a net fault from one of the blockers of
there you go.
PGJC Navy.
So either way,
Yeah,
the
either
point.
way, point pa rin yun for the HD Spikers.
So Miguel is back at the service area. 21-14. May stretch dito sa third set that Cignal kept going back to Wendell Miguel. Here's Navy. Pagulong was met by the double block. Bugawan with a kill block. And Neil, this might be the biggest lead that Cignal has enjoyed in this entire match. There was nowhere Pagulong could have gone there.
Diba? So sa ganyan lang pa unti-unti. Ang ginagawa nila, kinukuha nila sa block talaga. Eh kung pag wala tayong receive, paano tayo makaka-penetrate? Wala na tayong tao eh. Kulang tayo ng tao eh. Di ba magtulungan na lang tayo, di ba? Hindi lang naman eh. Huwag na natin hanapin kasama natin sa loob. Kulang tayo talaga.
Their offense works best when they get an excellent pass. Nakita naman natin na kaya nila ma-split yung blockers ng Cignal. But if you're going to deliver a botched pass to your setter, it will just make it easier for Cignal to clamp down on the wing spikers of the Sea Lions. That's a better pass.
Let's see what works here. Cignal. Umandal. Kalingking was able to send it back. Chow again on the second try. Off the block he goes. At tuluyan ng nanalasa itong Cignal here in the third set.
See, Sealions are still trying to find the solution to the low-scoring output of their main man. In that last rally, meron naman silang pasa, but they weren't able to connect in that first attempt.
They go to Castel, but still, net defense has been impressive for Cignal. But they use that, PGJC Navy does, to get the point.
Again, Pagulong already saw an established double block in front of him. Went for that hit out and scored a point for PGJC Navy.
Pagulong ends the run that Cignal had, and he scores back-to-back points.
They are missing the services of Leok after that sprained ankle. Kaya kailangan talaga nila magtulungan na lang because you have to deal with the cards given to you. These are the guys on the floor, so they do have to step up. Now, Ronquillo has identified a lot of gaps in the net defense of PGJC Navy. Kaya pumapasok yung palo niya. Now, Josafat will check in for Martin Bugawan.
As he mentioned, see, Coach Dex likes to use as many of his players, if not all of them in every match. And Cignal gets to do that because they're so dominant, and usually they create that separation enough to use everyone. Castel, nope. It's Dolor. Had to find a way to get that over on the piston. Kaling King, excellent job there. Ooh. Pagulong, yung regalo, can Cignal capitalize? Umandal, tough angle for him.
It was a free ball given up by the Sealions, but I think the set was just too low and too fast for Jao Mandal. I know that EJ Casanya wanted to go for that low fast set, but you still have to give your attacker that allowance for their approach.
So 1 set point saved for PGJC Navy. Layo-layo pa to. And that will be set number 3. Ronquillo ending it with a down-the-line kill. Like we said, after dropping that first set, Cignal just came to life, back to life, I should say, and they haven't looked back since. Another dominant display for the guys in red. They take the third set, 25-7. Inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, the first of 3 Spikers Turf matches coming your way. And we take a look at the set 3 highlights. Another set that Cignal dominated.
That is correct. Again, they banked on their deep bench to build that lead against the PGJC Navy Sealions. Ronquillo actually came up big. He was very efficient when he was subbed in. EJ Casanya went to his reverse setting a lot of times. But for PGJC Navy, they're still trying to work on their offense. Again, maganda naman yung net defense nila. They're getting their touches, but they're having a hard time when it comes to conversion.
You know, up until that second technical timeout, medyo dikit pa. It was after that break that Cignal pulled ahead. And it's no surprise that it's still coming from their attacks, their offense.
17 attacks seem to be the average of Cignal in every set. Madami yan, 17 attacks. And they also had 4 kill blocks against the attackers of PGJC Navy. For Navy, they did get their moments in some of the rallies, but in the end, talagang na-flex lang ni Coach Dexter yung second stringers niya because lahat ng pinasok niya performed at a very high level. You can see more change-ups in the roster for sure as we go along.
Absolutely. And also, we have to take note. Oh, look at that. We have a special guy in attendance here.
I know that he is also excited for the upcoming World Championships, being one of the main stars of Alas Pilipinas.
You know, can't wait to see Brian again back in action. Lalong-lalo na nga, like you said, when he's wearing the national team colors. But here, PGJC Navy needs to find a way to defuse the offense of Cignal HD if they want a chance to extend this to a 5th set. Owen Suarez was first to serve. Ronquillo. Well, you can't spell Ronquillo without kill, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what he did with that.
Ronquillo already has 6 markers. That is impressive given the limited minutes that he has played in this game.
Dolor. And like you said, no, parang hindi lang talaga nakukuha ni Greg.
Naral din talaga ng Cignal. I mean, that was their assignment. Watching that 32-point performance from Greg Dolor, they just knew na hindi pwedeng ganun ulit yung mangyari.
And I also want to emphasize that while we've been praising paulit-ulit yung offense nitong Cignal, they've been solid with their net defense. Hindi nga lang lagi nagtatranslate to a block point like this, but they've diffused the attacks of PGJC Navy.
When the coaches review the stat lines, hindi sila kadalasan nakatingin sa atake. Ang mas binabantayan nila would be serving and blocking. Greg Dolor has converted 4 out of his 31 attempts.
Wow.
So he has had a lot of chances to score. But again, solid lang talaga yung pinapakitang net defense ng Cignal HD. Pero if you can't score from the front line, you can't score off those service aces. That can be the start for regained confidence para kay Greg Dolor.
And the reaction I had of just saying, wow, dun sa nabanggit mong numbers is also relative kasi dun sa porsyento niya in their previous match. Where like you said, he scored 31 markers. That attack is not over. And that's consecutive points scored by PGJC Navy.
The HD Spikers are up 2-1, pero parang hindi pa masaya si Coach Dexter sa nakikita niya. There is always a certain standard that he wants to see in every game. Kahit sino pa yung kalaban nila on the other side of the net, dapat pareho yung nilalabas nilang laro. And again, the first 3 matches have been blowout matches for the Cignal HD Spikers. But in this game, talagang tinetest sila ng PGJC Navy.
And you know, kanina nga itong si Coach Dexter, physically, he moved JM Ronquillo to the position that he wanted him to be at habang nagsiserve ang PGJC Navy. And maybe a team as talented as Cignal, they need yung fire ni Coach Dex na hindi magre-relax despite how perfect their record is currently. Because look at Navy, they continue to fight and attack. Jacob, free ball given up. Umandal for the kill.
Wow. Very simple kill for Jao Umandal. Just utilizing his wrist action. He made sure that he had the best form there. Look at that. Didn't need to put so much power. Paminsan mas okay na idadaan sa bilis compared sa power because sometimes mabagal yung palo pero malakas. It's easier for the defenders to pop the ball up. But when it comes to speed, yun talaga yung mahirap basahin.
Pero maganda yung basa dun ni Domingo going off the double block, tying it up, 5 apiece. Umandal again, off speed. And Dasi Jacob, Dolor from the back. They go to Ronquillo again, try to go down the line. And Navy will be able to save this, pero free ball ang binigay. Casanya going to Umandal, down the line.
Faster than the speed of light. Has to be the best attack of this game. Take a look at that again.
Also
Wala na
stronger.
siya masyadong dadaanan doon, but he was still able to go for that down-the-line kill. Slow-mo po yun, by the way.
Oh, slow-mo yun, yung bilis na nun.
Didn't look like a slow-mo to me.
Really, Umandal is... He's home with Cignal. Jacob, how about the defense? At the net by Umandal as well. Yan yung sinasabi natin, not necessarily a block point, but spectacular defense, eventually getting the point through the attack.
He's on a scoring spree. 15 markers already for Jao Umandal.
Doing it both on offense and defense.
You also have to commend the setting of EJ Casanya. Again, giving Jao Umandal a single block.
That's also what you get kapag nag-iiba yung setter. Eh, no? Iba rin yung looks that you
Yeah.
have to prepare for if you're on the defensive and receiving side.
Iba-iba yung diskarte ng setters ng Cignal. And they have 3 setters in their roster. CNC lang, Owara Tamar, and EJ Casanya.
Look at that. This time, going a different direction. Initializing Martin Bugawan, who has also been a thorn for PGJC Navy. First technical time.
The 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference live here in the Rizal Memorial Coliseum in Taft. Of course, looking to close out this one in 4 sets are the Cignal HD Spikers, and I was able to chat with the former MVP himself, Brian Bagunas, who's present here in our venue. Of course, sitting this one out, this conference, but Brian's supporting Cignal because Sunday is his free time, his free day. Every day from Monday to Saturday, he has therapy for his left knee, getting ready for the World Championships on September. Brian also mentioned that trademark talaga ng Cignal yung slow start, but now they're getting back in the groove, and Brian is just happy to see his teammates playing. Nakakapanibago daw sa una, syempre sa simula, but he's confident that his teammates will represent the red and white proudly. And Brian is just here as a fan of volleyball. Your thoughts, Jut and Neil?
Well, imagine Cignal doing this
Without Brian.
without Brian. They used to do this with Brian and with Mark Espejo as well. Ngayon, wala yung dalawa, but still the same rampage that they usually are on. But is it a matter of sistema na rin, Neil,
Yes.
on top of the talent?
Yeah, aside from the jam-packed lineup of Coach Dexter, sistema na rin talaga. Na kahit sino pa ipasok mo dyan, as long as they follow the system.
That's true. It's when we say it's about the system, it's not only yung coaching system ni Coach Dex, but how much the players buy into that system and commit to it.
There are a lot of variables also in volleyball. Yung connection ng setters sa attackers, yung communication nila on the floor. Wow.
Well, connection, communication, certainly at 100% for Casanya and Bugawan.
That angle.
Sabi mo raw kasi best attack yung kay Jao eh. Ito gusto ka i-challenge ni Martin. The Cignal, Neil, parang they're so loose now after winning that second set. Ronquillo this time. Kalingking going to Dolor, met by the blockers. Triple block gets the stop.
Every chance that they get, they set up that organized three-man block. Every time that wall is up, nalilimit yung options ni Greg Dolor on the attack. Josaphat will check in again to replace Martin Bogawan.
Greg Dolor is always a bomb waiting to explode, pero na-diffuse siya dito ng Cignal HD. Dolor wisely attacking that triple block a different way.
Yeah. He can use the hands of the blockers of Cignal every time they set up that three-man block. Mataas naman yung abot ni Greg Dolor. It's about targeting na lang yung right hand ni EJ Casanya.
How about that piston from the pipe?
It's almost in the 20-point mark. That's for the PGJC Navy Sealions. The best scorers have been Jacobs and Peter Kiel. They both have 10 points apiece.
And that is Miguel with a block point on the Dolor. Casanya will deserve. Suarez to go back to Dolor. Touched by Ronquillo.
That's the good thing about Greg Dolor. He never stops. Even if he gets checked, he gets blocked, he would still give his 100% on the offense.
Tsaka parang hindi napapagod to si Greg Dolor. He's now serving. Cignal still up by 4. Kel was there. Miguel sends it long. Was there a touch? There was.
Now, Nas Guaza will check in for JP Bogawan. Well-deserved rest for Bogawan.
And I think there's only 2 guys who hasn't seen action from the players who are here for Cignal HD, and that's Sandy Montero and Alfred Valbuena. Wendell Miguel, 14 serving 9. Suarez going to Jacob. Defense was there. Guaza immediately. Oh. They get the point there.
Coach Dex will not be challenging that play. The players of Cignal were asking for a net penalty. Oh, it was given.
So Miguel still serving. Sunod-sunod yung mga puntos dito for Cignal. Jacob spotting that empty space in the back. Getting Navy to 10 points, but they're still down by 5.
Nobody went up for that block, and the Cignal paid for that.
Peter Kiel now serving. Nice and easy serve. Umandal. Seemed like it was off of him. And so, PGJC Navy gets the point.
Kanina pa iniintay ni Jacob yung opportunity niya to get a good block against Jao Umandal.
Nakakuha na kasi siya from Rotter kanina eh. He wanted Umandal. Finally got it. Four-point lead for Cignal HD. We're in set 4. Cignal needing just one more set win to get their 4th straight match. Currently undefeated itong Cignal HD Spikers with a 3-0 record. Navy, on the other hand, 1-2 entering this game. Ronquillo with an attack point. And that brings us to the second technical timeout of this set. It's a Matt, here in the Open Conference. Neil, would you walk us through what's going to happen?
Well, we have 6 teams right now in the Open Conference. It will be a double round-robin format. The top 4 teams will enter the next round of the tournament. And pagdating natin sa semis, it will also be a single round-robin format. The top 2 teams will enter the championship round, and the number 3 and number 4 team will battle it out for that bronze medal. This is a different type of playoff. Hindi na to yung usual na 1-4-2-3.
Yeah.
It's a round-robin format. So every game is important for these teams. But for now, ang first target lang ng mga teams is to get into that final 4.
Kaya itong Navy, gigil na gigil. And because Cignal is 3-0, Navy yung medyo mas nasa alanganin position with a 1-2 record. But they drop down a little bit further because a point, another one, is scored by Cignal, extending their lead 17-12.
There will be change in the setter's position for Coach George Pascua. Nico Ramirez, former Adamson Soaring Falcon, will now be the main playmaker.
They'll try to see what Ramirez will be able to provide. Kasanya going to umanda, cross court, wala pa ring makapigil kay Jao.
Bomb after bomb. It's Jao Mandal's day today.
That's the thing when facing Cignal, you never know who's gonna have that big game because everyone's capable of it. Today, like Neil said, it's Jao Mandal.
Yung sarili nyo, sa down nila yan, outside yan o not over and either mabablock. Ito yung pinakamalakas ang palo sa cross court. Bakit hindi tayo doon sa cross bablock? Doon sa cross court tayo, di depensa. Kung makaisa man lang siya, isa lang yun. Pero mas marami nilang pinapalo sa cross court. Bakit pinipilit natin, dalhin doon sa down the line yung block natin. Sa cross court kayo. Dalhin lang, cross court block.
Yeah, Jao Mandal has scored so many points off that cross-court hit. Yes, nakapag-bounce ball siya dun sa zone 1, but that was a single point. You still have to consider the number of attempts dun sa cross-court angle. And yun yung pinupush ni Coach George. Let him hit down the line. Basta mag-iwan ka lang ng small margin there. There is a chance na mag-outside yung palo.
When you play against an excellent attacker like Umandal, you know, you pick your percentages. Pipili ka na lang because you can't completely stop him. That seems to be what Coach George is asking from his team. May challenge din sila on a net fault. Pero ibang-iba na Neil yung itsura rin. I mean, we're talking about body language and the confidence of PGJC Navy from that first set.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they were able to set the tone in this match.
Right off the bat, they were able to snatch the opening frame dito sa Cignal HD. People were expecting Cignal HD to actually dominate this match, but they let PGJC Navy win that first set. Now, it is an unsuccessful challenge. There was a net touch on Liberato. Alfred Balbuena will replace Jao Mandal for the finishing touches. Set number 4.
Balbuena seeing his first action in this match. Louis Ronquillo, or check that, JM Ronquillo, I should say, will be serving this for Cignal HD. 6 points away from getting their 4th win in as many games dito sa Open Conference. And they want to challenge this. Sinasabi ng Cignal, i-challenge. Sabi ni Alfred, wag na, wag na.
It's a block touch challenge from Coach Dexter.
Eventually, they had already signaled the challenge, so it is going to be reviewed. Pero parang umamin na si Alfred sa team niya. Nonetheless, you know, Cignal is still in a very good position to win this one. But alam mo, Neil, even if they win this match, for sure there will be a lot na pag-uusapan pa rin itong team na to. Coach Dex will still be asking for a lot to be cleaned up in their performance.
In a way, medyo na-expose yung ilang liabilities sa Cignal. I mean, every team, kahit gaano kalakas sila, there are some loopholes always. So, yung other teams for sure nanonood ngayon, when they receive free points from the HD Spikers, dapat dun ka talaga umabante ng umabante. Oh, there was no block touch. It was the tape of the net.
So perhaps Alfred was saying something else.
Maybe he was saying
Mali
na
yung pagkabasa
wala
ko.
talagang
Yung
block
sinasabi
touch.
niya pala is wala. My apologies. And another successful challenge for Coach Dex and for Cignal. Their second successful challenge in this match. Ramirez. He wanted to go to Karangyan, but defense was ready once again.
Pahirapan kasi antibay ng blocker. Pag di tayo naka-receive, kinukuha na talaga sa block. Ngayon, pag out of system, nakita mo yung matibay yung sa dulo-dulo, pwede ka namang mag-back row, nandun naman si Greg na back row. Okay? Okay, let's go. Tara.
Even Coach George knows it, hindi sure point pag may chance umatake itong PGJC Navy. Dinadaan talaga ng Cignal sa net defense. And sometimes they are intentional about that aspect of their game. Na it's okay if the opponent will get more chances to attack. That just means that we also get more chances to get our defensive stops.
Yeah, you know, in their previous game, 51 attack points in total for PGJC Navy when they went up against Chris Cross. But in this game against Cignal, that number has dropped significantly. And Cignal looks hell-bent in claiming this victory. They're 3 points away from that. Ramirez going to Dolor, and finally some signs of the Greg Dolor that we're used to seeing.
That is the 9th point of Greg Dolor, not yet in double digits.
Coming off of a 32-point performance, you know. Karangyan serving, attacking Valbuena. Josafat found an opening.
Not the best of setups from Kasanya and Josafat. But they were still able to get the point. Now they have arrived at warning point.
(23-13). Valbuena will be serving. Ramirez going to Dolor again, off the block.
Now he's in double digits.
High spirits pa rin si Greg Dolor. Oh, reception error as Lorenzo frustrated after that one.
It's a rare service reception error from Vince Lorenzo. He has been solid on defense for Coach Dexter Clamor. And yung frustration niya, it just shows na pinapahalagahan niya talaga every point. Yellow card will be given to Lorenzo.
Napalakas lang yung paglabas niya ng frustration niya. Was given that yellow card. PGJC Navy almost needing a miracle to extend this to a 5th set. They're banking on getting one. Ito naman, they get a free point on that attack error.
Alfred was under that ball. He's asking for a higher set from EJ Casanya.
Liberato serving. short on that serve. That's the last thing you want
Yeah.
if you're Navy at this point.
When you're not producing the same output in attacking gaya na sa Cignal, you really can't afford to
Match
give
point.
them free points. Yeah.
Ramirez going to the lure. And they save that match point.
Net fault called on EJ Casanya.
Tumama yung elbow niya.
These are just the minor details na lang na kailangan i-polish ng Cignal as they move forward.
Because games are gonna get tougher, lalo na pag pumasok na tayo dun sa next round of 4. But that will be the match. Cignal, despite dropping or suffering their first lost set of the entire conference, they still managed to come out with a 3-1 victory.
A win is a win for Cignal. It's not the cleanest game for them, but again, their offense just saved them in this game. For PGJC Navy, they did try to challenge the HD Spikers, but with one man down, kinulang lang talaga.
And as always, it was not the dominance of one man that got them the win, pero yung multiple guys becoming options for them. There were times na etong si JM Ronquillo took over. At some point, Wendell Miguel sunod-sunod, Rotter, and Jao Mandao was just brilliant all game long.
Even Alfred Valbuena was able to chip in some points in the
Welcome back to the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Cignal HD Spikers over the PGJC Navy Sealions in 4 sets. And with me, the player of the game, Jao Umandal of the HD Spikers. Congratulations, Jao. 18 points, 17 attacks, 1 block, and 9 service receptions. Depensa yung pangunguna natin this afternoon. Okay, Jao, first off, ano nangyari dun sa first set natin? Bakit tayo kinapos?
Siguro yung first set namin, slow start kami talaga. Kumbaga, nagtagal namin nag-init bago kami makagalaw ng ganun kaayos. Pero sa next game namin, ipapolish namin na hindi na ulit mangyari na first game na parang doon pa lang kami nag-iinit.
Slow start,
Slow
yes.
start talaga.
Pero sabi nga ni Brad sa venue natin, trademark nyo daw yun, slow start. Marami pa tayong adjustments, of course, parating pa lang tayo sa kalagitnaan ng ating tournament. Ano pa yung kailangan nyo i-improve on?
Siguro yun, mawala yung slow start namin talaga. Na kahit alam namin na kaya namin yung kalaban, di dapat ganun ipakita namin na slow start kami sa umpisa. Kailangan una pa lang talagang mainit na kami.
Lastly, Jao, syempre ikaw gusto mo rin mag-improve each and every game, each and every match. Ano pa yung kailangan mong i-improve, things to work on?
Siguro more on consistent din. All skills. Syempre, everyday nag-training, syempre. Na kumbaga, may aim din kami na maging consistent kami. And sa game, lumabas lahat ng pinaghihirapan din namin.
Lumabas lahat ng hard work,
Yes.
magbunga siya sa pagdating sa laro. Jao, baka may gusto kang batiin, mga mahal sa buhay.
Binabati ko yung family ko sa Caloocan, yung tito ko sa Antique, and yung mga friends ko, yung girlfriend ko na nanonood lagi para sa akin. Thank you po sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Cignal.
Yun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, your player of the game of the Cignal HD Spikers, Jao Umandal. Back to you, Jut.
Thank you so much, ladies, and congratulations, Jao Umandal, on being named player of the game and on their win. Balikan natin yung set 4 highlights, Neil. What were your observations and takeaways sa set na yun?
Yung set number 4, it was identical to set number 2 and 3. 17, 17, 17 lang yung scores ng PGJC Navy. Jao Mandal was able to be consistent actually in those sets. And I know that there has been a couple of errors also from his side in attacking. Yun yung tatrabuhin niya in the next few games. And for Cignal, the energy was just flat nung set number 1. That's why they started slow. The PGJC Navy Sealions capitalized on that slow start. But in the end, nagkulang lang din talaga yung numbers nila in offense. Even in set number 4, they were behind the HD Spikers. 9 compared to the 14. Cignal again controlled the net. That is the character of the Cignal HD Spikers. They are a strong blocking team. Gumagana lalo yung offense nila when that wall is up.
Yeah.
And heading into the next games, alam ko it won't be easier. They still have to face Crisscross, also one of the undefeated teams here. So it's back to the drawing board for both teams.
Well, you know what? Dito sa fourth set, yun yung best attacking set na ng PGJC Navy, pero yun din yung pinakamarami sila mga errors. So Cignal gets their 4th win in as many matches, but that's only the first of 3 matches that we're bringing to you from the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Susunod na po ang ALP Insurance Protectors and going up against the VNS Laticrete Griffins. For my partner Neil Flores, for Bailey Sakot para po sa bumubuo ng aming production and technical teams. My name is Jot Sulit, thanking you for watching the 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference. You still got 2 matches coming right up, so stay tuned. We'll be here all day enjoying volleyball action.